Good morning, everyone, and welcome out to Davis Diamond in College Station, Texas. It is Heart of America Elite Fast Pitch Tournament play. Zach Taylor alongside former Texas A&M All-American Tori Vidalis. And Tori, a bit nippy this morning.
It is. Was not expecting this.
Yeah, things have cooled down a little bit here in the Brazos Valley, and we were talking about this beforehand. I mean, you got 63 degrees. It's supposed to warm up a little bit to 70 today, but right now it's 63 degrees and some wind blowing in. But again, it is the Heart of America Elite Fast Pitch Tournament. It's game time premiere against OK Bomber Gold in the 18 and under. And the Bomber Gold are going to be the home team today. And we'll go ahead and start with the visiting lineup. Haley Kazel, the center fielder, going to be leading things off, followed by Tatum Bradshaw, the left fielder. Clara Skaggs, the third baseman. Presley Main, the shortstop. Morgan Max, the defensive player. Kate Scott, the second baseman. Emily Lambeth, the right fielder. Kennedy Fisher, the catcher. Casey Polson, the first baseman. And Taryn Batterton, the pitcher slash flex. And in the circle for Bomber Gold, Olivia M., right-hander. Getting started a little bit late today. We actually had some rain last night and a couple of puddles that were on the field beforehand. But Tori, as you were telling me earlier, this is the best grounds crew in college softball. So they were able to get things done in plenty of time. The first offering down and away to the left-hander. It's 1 ball and no strikes.
I specifically remember multiple times where it would just flood everywhere in College Station, and we were definitely playing that night because the field crew here was able to get the field ready no matter what happened, and there was never a canceled game due to the field conditions ever.
Craig Potts and company were out there beforehand. I mean, throwing down tons of sand on the field and waiting for it to dry and putting bags out and everything else, and really looked nice. This rise ball misses high and away. It's now 3 balls and no strikes to Kazel, the left-handed hitting center fielder, leadoff hitter for OK Bomber Gold. And the 3-0 offering catches the strike zone. It's 3 balls and 1 strike. It's Kazel followed by Tatum Bradshaw, the left fielder, and then Clara Skaggs at third base. Game time premiere. The 3-1 just does nip the outside of the strike zone. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes.
I love that Kazel is going deep in the count, especially as the leadoff. You want to see as many pitches as you possibly can. That is your job as a leadoff.
Wave and a miss, struck her out. And a nice job there from Olivia M. coming back from a 3-0 count, picking up the K, so there's out number 1. Yeah, it's early in the morning. You would think that, you've been waiting around a little while. You might get a little antsy, want to get up there and start swinging at the first pitch. But she did take her to a full count before striking out, so at least got 6 pitches out of the deal. Wave and a miss from Bradshaw on the first offering. It's 0-1.
And I think the most important thing is even when you do go deep in the count, the biggest thing is translating that information back to your team, because it doesn't matter if you go deep in the count if you're not sharing that information. But as long as you're letting your teammates know, like, hey, this is what I got, this is where she was throwing me, that helps everybody and helps the adjustments happen much, much quicker.
Well, after taking the first hitter to 3-0, Olivia M. now 0-2 against Bradshaw, so she's bounced back nicely here in the circle. Swung on, line drive hit to left field, but pulled foul, and we'll do it again at 0-2.
And something that I always find really interesting here at Davis is the placement of the light on the pitcher's mound compared to the plate. It makes it a little bit more difficult right now. Olivia M., the pitcher, she is in the sunlight, and the batter's box is completely in the shade. So when you see that ball coming out of the pitcher's hand in the sun and then it comes to you and it's in the shade, it can kind of mess with the visual part a little bit, picking up the seams, picking up the break, and all of that. So it makes it a little bit more difficult on the hitter's eyes. So I always love to see how they adjust to it and how they kind of make that change as the time goes on and the light and the dark tend to move with the sun.
Yeah, when it suddenly just goes from light to dark. Swung on, fouled straight back, and Bradshaw now working a deep count here. Count does remain 1-2, but a couple of foul balls. Clara Skaggs, third baseman, waiting on deck. Another lefty in this lineup for Premier. The 1-2. Off the end of the bat, popped up to third base, and waiting in foul territory, Bailey Kay makes the catch for out number 2.
Nice little off-speed pitch there. Getting her to pop up.
Had her out in front. And we mentioned it is a little chilly, and with no batting gloves, I imagine that one stung just a bit. So,
when it's cold, everything stings.
Yeah, that's true. Skaggs not rocking any batting gloves either up there at the plate. First offering to her misses away. Did you ever try that when you in your playing days?
Just about to say I could never get past the sweat.
Yeah.
I'm a hand sweater through and through.
Didn't want the bat slipping out of your hands going into the stands?
It might be a little dangerous for everyone else if I didn't wear batting gloves.
Swung on and fouled back. That got in and around the hands. Evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Kind of quiet around Aggie Land this morning. So used to being here in the evening time when there's a lot of commotion going on across the street at Reed Arena. And
the hustle and bustle of College Station.
The hustle and bustle. There you go, West Campus. The 1-1, and again in on the hands, fights it off. Foul off to our left. 1-2. You were a West Campus Ag.
I was, through and through.
Yeah, we actually graduated with the same major, believe it or not.
Oh,
did you know that?
go
Did you
us.
know I was an Ag Com?
I think you mentioned it one time.
Agricultural Communications and Journalism.
AKA why we're here now.
There you go. The 1-2. This misses down and away. Yeah, more emphasis on communications and journalism, I guess, than agriculture.
Absolutely.
Even though we do love our ag folks. Farmers make the world, right? Presley Main waiting on deck, the shortstop. The 2-2 in on the hands, fists it up. It's going to drop down for a base hit. Wow, able to fight that one off, and it dropped right in front of the shortstop, AJR, and no play could be made, so an infield single for Skaggs.
Definitely got in on the hands, and I think it just got up into the wind tunnel, and the wind kind of pushed it away from AJR at shortstop. Just in the perfect place. Can't do much about that one right there.
Yeah, we mentioned that wind come whipping in from center field, so it's going to play havoc with the ball if they get up in the air today. And now Maine up with a runner on first base, takes the first offering for a called strike. Runner staying put over there at first, and the 0-1 offering nips the outside black. 0-2. Beautiful facility here at Davis Diamond. Of course, your senior year, I know that you got to play a few games here. It was actually kind of late in the making, but able to at least get in. And a wave and a miss on the 0-2 offering. And a nice job, Olivia M. able to bounce back and get the strikeout. So a runner stranded at first, no runs, 1 base hit, no errors, and 1 left. We head to the bottom of the first inning. No score. You're listening to Heart of America Elite Fast Pitch. Back to the bottom of the first inning. Still no score between Gametime Premier and OK Bomber Gold in the 18 under Heart of America Elite Fast Pitch here in College Station, Texas. Zach Taylor alongside Tori Vidalis. Maverick L going to lead things off for Gold, the second baseman, followed by Chanik L, the left fielder, and Talon B, the right fielder. Taryn battered in the right-hander in the circle. Delivers the first offering, a called strike. Premier made a little bit of noise in the top of the first, got a runner on with 2 outs, but Clara Skaggs was stranded at first base. And the 0-1 offering misses down. Evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. I was talking right before the break, Tori, that your senior year, this place, a little late in completion, although I guess all good things come to those who wait, but able to play a few games here before the career wrapped up at Texas A&M, and I know one final regular season series against Auburn, and then you guys got to play the regional here, right?
Yes, we did. So luckily we did get to play on this field. We had the honor of having the first practice and doing a lot of firsts here, so that was definitely a highlight. But the downfall was that the underneath side wasn't really ready. So that's the locker room, the team room,
all the nice necessity stuff,
all the things that would benefit us rather than the general public wasn't finished. So we did have to make that hike from Old Aggie Field over to Davis. So it wasn't a terrible thing that it wasn't done, but it would have been really cool to experience it, and I know the girls now love it.
Maverick L goes down swinging, a nice off-speed pitch from Batterton. And there's one away here in the bottom of the first. Again, no score between these two ball clubs. A swing and a foul off from Channing L. Yeah, beautiful facility. Again, 2018, in the spring of 2018 is when this place opened, and been one of the crown jewels of college softball ever since. And again, swung on and fouled off at the plate. No balls and 2 strikes.
And the thing that I love the most about Davis is not only the experience as a player and getting to look up in the stands and see this beautiful facility, but also the experience for the fans. It's so cool to come and watch a game here as a fan because it gives you the entire experience as a fan. Like you would go to a Major League Baseball park and you get to experience that. And here it's almost the same thing, whereas most softball complexes, you're just at another softball complex. It doesn't really give you that over-the-top feeling. And I remember my dad telling me the first time he watched a game here was, I got some peanuts and I felt like I was at a Major League stadium. Like that's how cool the environment and the energy is here. It's definitely a big change from Old Aggie Field.
And the seats are about as comfortable as you would find at any Major League stadium as well, as the 1-2 offering misses inside, evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes to Channing L. Talon B waiting on deck, the right fielder.
And that was, the seats were actually a huge part that Coach Joe Evans put a big emphasis into, because a lot of our fans as Aggies are some of the older generation, so you don't want them to be just sitting on a metal bleacher. You want them to be comfortable and want them to come back.
Enjoy the experience.
Yeah, so it's really all about the comfort and the experience.
Wave and a miss, got her to chase outside, and so 2 up, 2 down against Taryn Batterton. Talon B coming up, left-handed swinging right fielder for Gold. First pitch swinging, line drive that's going to be fielded on the hop at shortstop. Presley Main fires over to first for out number 3. So 3 up, 3 down for Taryn Batterton and company. We head to the top of the second, still no score. You're listening to Heart of America Elite Fast Pitch Softball.
In the heart of America, teams come to compete. Nothing is given. All is paid by battling on the diamond.
This ball driven deep to right center field. See you later.
Don't miss your opportunity to play against other leagues across the country. Be the heart of softball.
Gonna win more.
Back at Davis Diamond, it is the top of the second inning. Morgan Max, Kate Scott, and Emily Labeth due up for Game Time premiere. Made a little bit of noise there in that top of the first. Got a 2-out single from Clara Skaggs, an infield single, but unable to bring her around. Have yet to see a ball hit out of the infield so far in this ball game. Mentioned that wind whipping in from center field, so even if the ball does get up in the air, Tori, I imagine it's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah, it'll be like a brick wall, straight up, straight back down. So this is where you really pay attention to the outfielders and how well of a read that they're getting on the ball, and if they know truly which way the wind is blowing. You have to be always aware of where the wind changes in between every pitch, because it is so important to know how to play the ball.
Morgan Max, your designated player today, hitting from the left side, takes the first pitch away. It's 1 ball, no strikes. Big scoreboard out there in left field. Of course, Texas A&M softball. And big letters over top. My partner knocked one of those letters out early on whenever she was practicing. As there's a called strike, evens the count. That was the first practice, right? You guys were taking BP?
It was, but luckily we noticed that it was the wrong material that was used. So actually, I technically did them a favor by...
Look at you, helping out the construction crew.
I think I have a piece of the letter that I broke, actually.
Do you really?
Yeah,
that's cool.
It was like a first person to hit the scoreboard.
This is why we can't have nice things, because of Tori Vidalis. Knocking stuff out with home runs. Name's Tori and I hit dingers. Swung on, popped up. This is right behind home plate. And bouncing back and able to make the catch for the out. Catcher Caden able to make the catch. Caden B.
And I love that she was able to kind of track that down and then turn around with her chest facing the umpire, so she can get a better feel on the spin as the ball goes up in the air.
Kate Scott, first pitch swinging, and she drives this one to right field. There's going to be a quick throw to first, but off the mark, and I don't think it was going to be there in time anyways. So a hard hit single for Kate Scott, and another runner on for Premier.
That's a good piece right there. I love that she was aggressive, hitting the very first pitch, and drove it where it was pitched. A lot of times you see hitters kind of pull off and hit a weak ground ball to the left side, and she was able to really let that ball travel, get deep, and drive it to right field.
Emily Labeth up now. First offering misses down low. So you played quite a bit of first base too, in addition to playing the hot corner over at third. Did you have a right fielder throw to you a lot?
Not a lot.
Games?
I think it's very rare that it happens. It has to be normally a slower than average runner.
Right.
And the ball has to be an absolute rocket off the bat, because they already have a head start. As the ball's getting there, they're already halfway down the line, maybe 3/4 of the way. So by the time you pick it up, shuffle, throw, there's no chance usually.
This one popped up in foul territory, and that's going to clear the screen, so it falls back into the stands. Count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. That's just something I guess you always have to be cognizant of, though, right? I mean, you always have to be aware that that could be a play.
Yeah, so as a first baseman, your job is to obviously release to try to field the ball, but as soon as the ball gets past you, your job is to always get back to the base, because you never know who could stop it, whether it be the second baseman, the right fielder, or if it just gets by you and does go out to right field, there could be a play, but the right fielder usually will either throw it or hold it depending on what she sees, because your back is faced towards the runner if you're taking that throw from right field.
Labeth probably feeling that one after that ball came in on the hands and just trickled it foul up the third baseline. The 1-2 swung on, and this one's fouled back. These Premier hitters working some deep counts against Olivia M so far in this ball game.
Really making her work. I love to see a team that's aggressive and is on the ball, but making the pitcher work, not swinging at those borderline pitches or fouling them off.
The 1-2 swung on, a hard hit ground ball to short, on to second for 1, on to first, double play. 6-4-3 DP for Bomber Gold, and they get out of the top of the second. So the bottom half of the inning we go, still no score. You're listening to Heart of America Elite Fast Pitch Softball. Bottom of the second inning we go. Still no score here between OK Bomber Gold and Gametime Premier 18 under. The winner of this ball game will advance to take on OK Athletics Premier in the very next ball game here in the tournament. So this is the losers bracket, so trying to get a win and stay alive.
Fighting for your life.
Fighting for your playoff life. Caden B leading things off, the catcher for Gold, and a wave and a miss. First offering from Taryn Batterton. She had a 1-2-3 first inning with 2 Ks. Getting to build on that performance.
Yeah, really working that curveball in the outer half to the righties and a backdoor to the lefties.
And that curveball again just did miss outside. No, excuse me, called strike on the outer black. And quickly, no balls and 2 strikes. Swung on, this one popped up. This might get to us. Not quite. Close, though.
It's my dream to catch a ball.
To catch a ball on a
air.
live broadcast. I was calling a high school game one time, and we were sitting right behind home plate, and you got the chain link fence and everything else, and the ball got popped up over it, and I was able to make the one-handed grab.
Man,
right when
what
I
a play!
Yeah, so you could say that it's a pretty big deal. 0-2, it's a misses down and away. Just saying, Tori, one day you'll get there. Just
hopefully.
Hard work and dedication. And 1 ball and 2 strikes. AJ R waiting on deck, and then Asia S, the center fielder. A little slow roller hit to third base, picked and fired over to first for out number 1, Clara Skaggs with the 5-3.
Yeah, Casey Polson working hard over there at first base. She's had a couple throws that have been a little off and been able to stick with it and make the jumping catch and keep her foot on that base. I can always appreciate a good first baseman.
I know that feel. AJR, the shortstop, coming up. 5th batter in the lineup for Gold. Yet to get anybody on base. First pitch swinging, hard hit line drive, going to drop down in the right center field gap. Rounding first and rolling into second with a stand-up double, AJR. So it's just as soon as I said they didn't have anybody on base, she goes and gets an extra base knock.
Yeah, I love that she was able to step up to the plate and know exactly what she was looking for. Like I said earlier, she's relying, Batterton is relying on that curveball in the outer half, and for a righty, that's pretty much the only place that she's been throwing them. So for the dugout to go back and give her that information, she knows exactly what she's looking for as she gets in the box and is able to drive it exactly where it's pitched.
Easy double. That brings Asia S up now, the runner in scoring position. Runners at the corners playing in. And the first pitch misses down and away to the lefty. Oh, nope, excuse me, it was a called strike. We got a delayed strike call. Makes me pay closer attention now. So right down in my book, the 0-1. This one misses high. Evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike.
It's a little different from up here.
It is. It is.
You can't really tell the height of a ball up here.
A little difficult to tell the depth. We are sitting right behind home plate, though, so that offers a pretty good vantage point of inside or outside. This one up a little bit, and a wave and a miss. That's another thing that the new facility has brought. It's definitely a little bit easier for the media to work through things. Pitch misses away, evens the count at 2-2. Talking about the old Aggie softball complex, which you said will always be home to you.
Absolutely.
Playing so many games there, but was a little difficult at times to call games, especially on radio, because we were generally outside, even more so in the elements.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah, welcome to the. We were just like the players, 2-2, wave and a miss. Got her to chase down and away, and out number 2.
And that's the hard thing I think about softball is just the elements. You really do have to battle them. And as a player, we were always told you should never know what the temperature is outside by the way that you're playing. And Coach Evans was a big advocate for that. If it's cold, you better not act like it's cold.
Yeah.
And when it's hot, you got to drink water.
Kendall H takes the first offering away. First baseman for Gold trying to bring that runner in. Yeah, today would definitely be a day that jacket would come in handy for sure. First baseman for Premier, actually, Casey Polson, was wearing a jacket there in that first inning. A slow dribbler hit to second base, firing on to first for out number 3, and a nice nifty play made by Katie Scott. So Gold gets a runner at second, but leaves her stranded. We head to the third, still no score. You're listening to Heart of America Elite Fast Pitch Softball.
In the heart of America, teams come to compete. Nothing is given, all is paid by battling on the diamond.
This ball driven deep to right center field. See you later.
Don't miss your opportunity to play against other leagues across the country. Be the heart of softball.
Gonna win more.
To the top of the third we go. Still no score between Game Time Premier 18 under and OK Bomber Gold. Zach Taylor alongside former Texas A&M All-American Tori Vidalis. Professional softball player Tori Vidalis. You had that on your business card?
I don't have a business card. Maybe I should make one.
Yeah, you need to work on that. Bottom third of the order due up for Premier. Kennedy Fisher, Casey Polson, and Taryn Batterton. And the first offering, a called strike. Both of these teams have gotten runners on, just haven't been able to bring them home. Olivia M. gets it in on the hands, and it's a soft line drive hit to second base, and an easy play made by Maverick L. for out number 1. Now, you're probably feeling that one too for Kennedy.
Oh, absolutely.
We have seen some balls getting in on the hands for sure.
It always happens when it's cold, too.
Yeah.
Have you noticed?
Yeah, it always somehow will creep in there. First pitch to Polson, misses down and in. Got our own rendition of Wild Thing going on down with Premier's dugout.
It's a classic cheer.
This pitch misses up. Now 2 balls and no strikes. That is one thing that you notice the difference between. I mean, I'm not saying that you don't have cheers in baseball, but I mean in softball that they're pretty much choreographed.
Oh,
you guys,
100%.
Guys had them down to a science.
Yeah, and well, that's also one thing that you see a big difference from select or travel ball to college is there's some college teams that are like known for doing those types of cheers and other things, and then there's also some teams that don't do it at all. They're just like, hey, here we go 8, like let's go, like you got this, or a team that's like doing the claps and the choreographed things. But in select, I mean, you learn these when you're in 8U, 10U, like when you're really young.
Yeah.
And then as you get older, you kind of create your own style and you create.
And you're playing with the same girls generally, right?
Sometimes. It just depends on what your journey is on where you live and how many teams there are around you. So there's a lot of different factors. But a lot of the same cheers are the ones that were here whenever I was young.
Yeah.
So, but you create your own style and you do your own beats. And there used to be a team that would have a bucket and drumsticks. And they would go ham.
Very nice. 3-2, swung on, fouled back to the screen. So we'll do it again. Haley Kazel waiting on deck, the leadoff hitter for Premier. Yeah, just take something. Just make it your own. Called strike 3 on the inside corner. Boy, really nice pitch to thread the needle there. So out number 2. Both of these pitchers been awfully impressive early on here. Olivia M. has given up a couple of singles, but other than that, Looked awfully good in the circle. First offering to Kazel misses down and away.
I think, too, especially when it's a little bit chilly, pitchers will always have the advantage because as a hitter, you don't get as much time to really get warm. Yes, of course, when you're warming up, but like a pitcher, if you think about it, they're constantly throwing, constantly moving, so their body is warm and primed and ready to go. And as a hitter, you get a couple swings on the on-deck circle, and normally if your pitcher's throwing well, like both of these pitchers are here today, you're not really moving much on the infield or in the outfield, so you're a little bit colder, so it takes a lot more for your body to fire and to get it going. So I definitely see the tough part in getting your body going when it's cold.
Just did get a piece on that last offering from Kazel and rolled it over to the home dugout, so now a 1-ball and 2-strike count. The 1-2 swung on and fouled back. Said home dugout, more the third base dugout. That's generally where the Aggies get to occupy things, but Gold is the home team, and they're over there at first base. And generally, you don't want to be in the sun, right? But right now, I think you would probably take that, being in the third base side. The 1-2, and again spoiled foul off to the left. So Kazel, after putting up a long count her first time at bat, staying alive here. Tatum Bradshaw waiting on deck. The 1-2 swung on, and a dribbler just fouled on the third base line. We got somebody doing sprints out in the Reed parking lot, no shirt on, with some short shorts. I don't know why. I guess if you're running fast enough, then you can outrun the wind, maybe? I don't know. That guy's got to be cold. One ball.
Don't count me in that category.
1 ball and 2 strikes to count. Swung on and fouled back. Just don't count me in the running category.
Absolutely.
How about that?
Yep.
Don't count me in the physically active category. 1 ball and 2 strikes. More power to him, I guess.
Health.
Yeah, health. Swung on, line drive, going to dump down in left center for a base hit. So Haley Kazel puts together a tremendous at-bat. Ends it with a single, and Premier with a runner on with 2 away.
Yeah, I really love that at-bat from Kazel. The first at-bat she had, she ended up striking out, going deep in the count, but was swinging at pitches that I don't know if she thought she could handle or whatever it may be, wasn't on time. But this at-bat, she fouled everything that was close off and got it out, showed great barrel control, and then was able to really get a hold of one and just knock it in over the shortstop's head. And you love a 2-out base hit.
Bradshaw up at the plate now. Popped up the third or last time. Runner goes. Here's the throw on the 1-hop and a nice spear at short. And the tag is made. So AJR with a fantastic play out at shortstop. And they catch Haley Kazel trying to steal. So ends up Taryn Batterton only faces, or Olivia M, excuse me, only faces the minimum here in the third. We head to the bottom half of the inning. Still no score. You're listening to Heart of America Elite Fast Pitch Softball. To the bottom of the third we go. Still no score between OK Bomber Gold and Gametime Premier. Gold coming up here in the bottom half of the inning against Taryn Batterton. It's Bailey K followed by Iana P. And then back to the top of the lineup we go with Maverick L. Bailey K with a 1-0 count. Bring home the 1 ball, no strikes, and just did catch the outer black. Now 1-1. And she's been working on that outside of the zone. You mentioned it about an inning ago. Has just been killing that outside corner against the right-handers.
Yeah, and I think as as a rule of thumb, why change it if it's working and the hitters aren't really squaring it up until Bomber's Gold actually starts hitting her hard? I would keep going there.
I just said that she was working the outside corner, then she comes back in and paints the inside black. So
got to mix it up a little.
yeah,
bit.
got to mix it up just a tad. But the 1-2 misses high, trying to get her to chase. She wouldn't bite.
I think the big thing for Batterton is going to be really locating those pitches. So you can throw a curveball, but if you're going to throw it, make sure it's catching the black or the very outer part of that plate. It's the pitches that you miss over the plate where you're getting caught between a backdoor and a regular curve is where you really run into a little bit of trouble.
Get some hangers going on and tried that outside corner. Just did get a piece, did Bailey Kay. And we'll do it again at 2-2.
Especially with those pitches being so similar, a backdoor is going to be on the inner half, moving the same exact way as a curveball would, but it's inside to a righty, and a regular curveball is outside to a righty. So it's easy to get in the same movement, but you really have to find that positioning.
Uncorks one, misses way wide, and that will bring up the count full. Talked about the elements being against the hitters, the pitcher obviously being against the hitters, and even the dimensions here are pretty large compared to some places you might find. 200 at the corners, 220 in dead center at Davis. The payoff pitch just did get a piece and spoils it foul back over to the right.
Yeah, the gaps here in Davis are ginormous, especially with the way that the field is laid out. So in Old Aggie Field, the dimensions were 190 and 220. So it was more of like an oval, and here it's more not even a half circle. It's just almost a straight line, but it goes so deep that there's so much room for the outfielders to run, so you really have to know where you're at and know your surroundings.
Right. Called strike on the inside corner. Fantastic pitch from Batterton. That's her 4th K of the game, and there's one down. A little bit more room to run for your former teammate Erica Russell to crash into some fences or whatever she wanted to do at that particular time.
That was her specialty.
That was her specialty. Back in the day, Erica graduated with you in 2018. First offering to Iana P. misses down and away. 1 ball, no strikes. That was a fun team to cover. You guys had a lot of talented players making it all the way to those super regionals. This pitch misses high and in.
And the World Series.
And the World Series your junior year, that's correct.
Yeah. It was a fun 4 years. Would do it again. And the exciting thing for me in calling these games is looking at the future ahead of some of these players. Like, most of them are either committed or going to commit soon, going to graduate high school soon, and knowing that the best 4 years of their life are literally right in front of them.
The 2-1 just did miss high, and that'll bring the count to 3 balls and 1 strike. Leadoff hitter Maverick L waiting on deck. Batterton winds and fires, slings it in, misses down and inside. Ball 4. The first walk issued today. So a runner on first now for Maverick L, the leadoff hitter. And you actually hit a little leadoff as well. Maybe not the most conventional leadoff hitter.
Yep.
I guess we could say that, because you were definitely a power hitter and an RBI hitter. But from that perspective, what kind of mentality do you have to have as a leadoff hitter?
I think for a typical leadoff hitter, which is usually anybody that normally hits at the top of the lineup, it changes from at bat to at bat. So obviously you're going to lead the game off. So in that instance, you want to see as many pitches as you can to bring that information back to your teammates and say, hey, this is the pitch she's throwing for a strike. This is the pitch that maybe the umpire doesn't like very much, or all these things. So you're learning early in the game what the umpire likes, what the pitcher's throwing, and you're telling your team that. And that's a really quick way to get adjustments, because this is a game of adjustments. The first one to make it wins normally.
Right.
And so that is your goal, your be-all, end-all. And the other one is get on base, right? You want to have a leadoff runner on. But as the game goes on, like say in this instance, Maverick is not the leadoff, she's the 3-hole. So your game kind of changes a little bit. You're trying to get that runner over.
Pops her up right behind home plate, getting rid of the mask and making the catch right up against the screen, Kennedy Fisher. And the runner actually tagging at first, moves on to second base. The throw down is not in time, and they thought maybe she had gotten off the bag a little early, so they'll test the throw on over to first base, but umpire says that she in fact did tag up. So a heads-up play there at first base from Iana P., and now she's at second with 2 out.
That's great awareness. I love that Iana P. was able to realize that as soon as that ball goes up in the air, she's going back to the base and tagging. And any time that you have an opportunity to move 60 feet, you need to take it, especially when that's the longest throw on the field for the infielder. So if there's a ball behind the plate with a ton of room behind home plate, you can see that there's excess amount of room, and they're probably not used to that as infielders, as catchers. And so for her to be able to tag and get there safely is a big deal.
The 0-1 misses down and in, evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. A lot of credit, though, to Kennedy Fisher for being able to make that catch. That is not an easy play to make from the catcher position.
Not at all, especially with the net that they have here. You can see it a little bit there. It goes all the way around.
Swung on. This one is driven high and deep into right center field, but it's going to be playable for Haley Kazel. Makes the catch for a loud out number 3. So Bomber Gold threatens a little bit after getting a walk, but they leave a runner stranded. No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 left. We head to the 4th inning. No score. You're listening to Heart of America Elite Fast Pitch Softball.
The snap of a ball, the crack of a bat. This is where the best come to play. Don't miss your opportunity to be at the destination for high-level softball clubs. The Team 1 Elite Club invite is coming to Kansas City.
To the 4th inning we go. Still no score between Gametime Premier and OK Bomber Gold. It is the 18-under Heart of America Elite Fast Pitch Tournament.
It's a mouthful.
It is. That is a lot to get out here. And of course, OK Bomber Gold from Oklahoma. Actually, most of the crew here from the Tulsa area. Tatum Bradshaw leading things off. Rockets this one to left center. It's going to one-hop the wall. Rolling around first and steaming into second with a stand-up double. Tatum Bradshaw.
It's a great piece right there. I love that she's getting it done early in the count. To me, that's the best time to swing. You don't have to think much. Just find a pitch over the plate and drive it all the way to the warning track.
Definitely the hardest hit ball we've seen so far this ball game. Clara Skaggs coming up. She had a single her last time up. Infield single. Talking about OK Bomber Gold being from Oklahoma. Saw a lot of Oklahoma license plates. A couple from Edmond, Oklahoma. My uncle actually used to live there. It's really nice in Edmond. I like that a lot. Just offering misses down. Of course, Oklahoma City, which is just south of Edmond, home of the College World Series for softball. The 1-0 nips the outside black, evens the count at 1-1. As you mentioned, you guys got to go there. Really neat ballpark. Recently got a facelift, too.
Yes, a much-needed facelift.
The 1-1. Wave and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes. I've never gotten a chance to go to the Hall of Fame there, but I have gotten to go to Bricktown Ballpark, which is the minor league baseball stadium that they have there, which is really nice. Swung on. This one is popped up. Deep left center field. Ranging over and making the catch. Runner tags at second base. The throw is off the mark. And a heads-up play from Bradshaw to move over to third base. A strong throw from Asia S might have gotten her, but it would have been a bang-bang play nonetheless.
Yeah, and I love that she was able to read that ball and know, okay, the outfielder is camped under this ball, and that's one of the only times you're ever going to tag at second. I think running at second base when the ball is hit is probably one of the hardest things as a base runner, because there's so many different scenarios that could happen, and that it depends on how fast of a runner you are.
Hard hit shot right by the third baseman, and that's going to be an RBI single for Presley, Maine. Not wasting any time, first pitch swinging, and we have our first run of the ball game.
And you see the success that Gametime has had is when they're swinging early in the count. They're going up to the plate and they're just attacking. They're not getting too deep, and that's when they start swinging and missing or maybe popping up the ball. Olivia M. is able to kind of keep them on their toes with her different speeds, but a great job right there, just going up, knowing what you want to hit, and getting the job done.
And it was all set up, too, by Bradshaw moving from second to third on that pop-up. And so quickly, Premier up 1-0 here, and now Morgan Max due at the plate, takes the first offering for a called strike. Was the fifth base hit for Premier, but first one that paid off with a run so far. This offering misses high. Evens us at 1-1. So you've been in the same kind of situation as these girls are. I mean, you've had to come out and play early ball games, maybe on a day where it might be a little chilly, or, you know, you're just kind of starting to wake up. This one's hit off the end of the bat. Going to be an easy fly ball in center field for Asia S. Makes the catch for out number 2. So what did you do to get ready, to kind of prep yourself and wake up a little bit?
Oh, man. Waking up early is not my forte, so actually that's where I developed my coffee addiction.
Oh,
Thank
yeah.
you to my father.
Yeah, shout out, Dad.
Yeah, he was like, hey, you got to wake up. And I'm like, I'm just so tired. And so he was like, all right, we're going to McDonald's, drive through, getting you a large coffee, and you got to be ready to go. And I was like, fine. And I tasted it, and it was one of those really sweet, like, iced coffees, you know.
McCafe latte or whatever.
Yeah, and so I was hooked. And so every time I'd be like, I promise I'll wake up early if you get me a coffee from McDonald's. So I blame it all on him. But honestly, we would show and go a lot of the times for our 8 a.m. games, and it's probably not the best. I definitely couldn't do that now.
Slow roller hit to short, fielded by AJR, fires on to first for out number 3. However, Premier does take the lead. An RBI single from Presley, Maine, scores Tatum Bradshaw, and it's 1-0 as we head to the bottom of the 4th. You're listening to Heart of America Elite Fast Pitch Softball. Bottom of the 4th inning we go. Premier with a 1-0 lead here after an RBI single from Presley, Maine. Now it's the Gold's chance to answer back. Talon B going to lead things off, and she gets a foul ball off to the left, 0-1. Caden B waiting up next, and AJR to follow. Yeah, talking about coffee, just trying to wake up early in the morning. Was telling you, I'm not actually a coffee drinker by trade, I guess. Not naturally a coffee drinker. This is a slow roller hit to short, fielded on the hop by Presley, Maine. Fires on to first. Nope, excuse me. Has to put it in her pocket.
It's a beautiful slap right there. Great barrel control. Just taps it right into that 5-6 hole. And Maine actually playing a little bit deep for a slapper, I thought, and didn't have time to even make a throw over there.
So puts that one in her back pocket. A leadoff single from Talon B. Caden B coming up now, the right-hander.
What about Junie B?
First offering misses away. Junie B. What is that from?
Junie B. Jones.
What is that from?
Oh,
Is
too
it?
old. You're
Is,
too
yeah,
old for that
I was about to
book.
say, is that one of that new
It's a
fangled
classic.
stuff?
No,
I
that
was
was-
Hank the Cowdog all the way.
No, that was a classic chapter book
This pitch misses
in
outside.
elementary
2-0.
school. You know, I'm Junie B. Jones, and the B stands for, and then she would change it. No,
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
I remember a lot. I remember the Boxcar Kids. You remember that one?
Mhm.
Okay. At least we're on that same page. Remember
Magic
Clifford?
Treehouse.
Yeah, Magic Treehouse. Swung on. This one hit off the end of the bat, and it's going to be a soft line drive caught in center field. Haley Kazel ranging over to make the catch for out number 1. But no, talking about coffee, I never grew up drinking a lot of coffee. My dad drank cowboy coffee, so I didn't get the chance to try the sugared sweet stuff that you did.
Yep.
So, you know, the cold
Probably what started
black
your
coffee, just, yeah, I'm not good with that.
You're
but,
like, no
oh,
thanks.
yeah, iced coffee, put a bunch of sugar in there, whatever I'm all about it. Swung on. This one is lifted into the left field, ranging over into foul territory and making the catch. Out and left, Tatum Bradshaw for out number 2. Kind of a awkward swing there. Got way underneath it and just lofted it into left. So quickly 2 down after the leadoff single. Asia S coming up. I actually like to put honey in my coffee now.
Ooh,
So that's kind
nice
of a
little natural sweetener.
Yeah, natural sweetener. Maybe a little easier on the tooth decay. This one swung on and fouled back.
Honestly, I think the biggest thing is the parents when they have early games. Like the kids, they can do it because you're
Oh, yeah.
young. You
They're
know, you,
full of
you bounce
energy.
back. But as a parent, you know, you have to wake up and not only get ready to leave, but you have to wake up, make sure they eat breakfast. You have to drive them there. You have to do all these things. So, like now that I'm older, I think back and I'm like, dang, my parents like really the MVPs of my career because you honestly, it would be very, very difficult to go through a career without your parents and without having that support. But I know there are some kids out there who don't really have as much support from their parents, and the other parents kind of step in, so you always love to see it.
This ball going to stay in the infield and caught by Maine right behind second base. So a leadoff single is all for naught. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 left on. We head to the 5th. 1-0 our score. Premier with the lead. You're listening to Heart of America Elite Fast Pitch Softball.
The snap of a ball, the crack of a bat. This is where the best come to play. Don't miss your opportunity to be at the destination for high-level softball clubs. The Team 1 Elite Club invite is coming to Kansas City.
To the top of the 5th we go. 1-0 our score. Zach Taylor alongside with Tori Vidalis. Hanging out with you today at Davis Diamond. The wee hours of the morning. This game originally slated to start at 8. Had to push things back a bit because of some rain that apparently had come through last night. Both Tori and I were in town yesterday evening, and I don't remember any rain coming down at my house.
I was sleeping too snug to
Yeah,
notice.
yeah. At that point, it was just dead to the world. But come out this morning, and a few puddles hanging out on the diamond. But Craig Potts and company, grounds crew here at Texas A&M, able to get that underway, and got underway at around 9 o'clock. Heading to the top of the 5th already. Emily Lambeth going to lead things off, the right fielder, followed by Kennedy Fisher and Casey Polson, the first baseman. Premier had threatened, but finally came across the score last inning. Tatum Bradshaw led things off with a stand-up double, and then Presley Main drove her in 2 batters later. Labeth grounded into a 6-4-3 double play her last time up. First pitch misses low, 1-0.
And just a reminder, the winner of this game is actually fighting to play the 10-15 game. I'm assuming now it'll probably be around 11-15.
I was about to say, if we get this bad boy done in 15 minutes and
Yeah.
the field flopped around, then, we're doing pretty good.
And that game will be against the Oklahoma Athletics Premier, like you mentioned earlier.
1 ball and 1 strike. Wave and a miss, had her out in front. Nice off-speed offering. And as good as Taryn Batterton has been, Olivia M. Right there along with her. Again, just got touched up for that run in the 4th, but other than that, has looked very sharp. A swing and a miss. Speaking of sharp, picks up her 4th strikeout of the day.
Yeah, what I really like that Olivia M is doing is she's staying away from the plate. I mean, she's really not bringing her curve or anything off speed over the white. And when you're a great pitcher and you're getting those calls or you're getting the hitters to swing, why would you put it over the plate and make it a little bit easier on them? Make it hard for them. Keep it on the chalk, and if they're going to swing, keep it there and don't move it.
Sling it home, his first offering a called strike. And the 0-1 pitch misses down and away. Evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. This is actually Emma J has come on into the circle. So that was, again, we don't have the great great luxury of having the PA to announce those things. As this 5-3 goes on to first. So she came on this inning. So Emma J is the new pitcher in the circle.
My analysis still stands of the positioning, though. Does a great job of keeping that off the plate.
So Olivia M's day is done. Again, she went 4 innings and gave up 4, make that 5 base hits in 1 run. Emma J quickly with 2 down here. Casey Polson, number 9 hitter in the lineup. There's a slow roller, but going to trickle foul up the 3rd baseline. As far as the PA and everything else going on around here, it's kind of a bare bones at this point, Davis Diamond, compared to what you would see.
A game day.
Yeah, an actual SEC game day. Also have to space quite a few people out for the staff, as there's a excuse me swing. And she did go around. Actually, no, apologize. They'll appeal down to 3rd. They didn't. I didn't know if the home plate umpire was going to make a call or not. Evens the count at 1-1. Got games going on here. Some at the old Aggie softball complex. Veterans Park down the road. Wave and a miss. 1-2. And also at Bee Creek, which is another facility here in town. They have a couple of fields, and Central Park.
Yep.
So
it's a lot of fields.
Yeah, take your pick. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
I think I would pick Davis for sure.
Yeah, I think I would too.
I'm sure the girls are loving the opportunity to get to play on this field.
I would imagine so. I think anytime you get a chance to play at a Division I complex, especially one of this nature, you'll take it. 2-2. Misses up high, now a full count. So Polson doing a good job working the count full. Haley Kazel waiting on deck. Getting Emma J on in her first inning of relief here for Premier. Or excuse me, for Gold. And just did get a piece. Or no, actually dropped on the ground and firing it on over to first, Caden B, for out number 3. So it was a strikeout and then a 2-3 for the 3rd. So 1-2-3 goes Premier here in the 5th. We head to the bottom half of the inning. 1-0 our score. You're listening to Heart of America Elite Fast Pitch Softball. To the bottom of the 5th we go. Bomber Gold trying to get on the board. They trail 1-0. Kendall H going to lead things off. First pitch swinging, drives this one deep into center field, ranging over to right center to make the catch. Haley Kazel for out number 1.
She got a great first read on that ball. Kazel does a great job at drop stepping and running to exactly to where that ball was going to be with her glove tucked.
Bailey Kayub now struck out looking her first time. And Taryn Batterton still in the circle for Premier. First pitch misses down and in. So we talked about the winner of this game goes on to take on OK Athletics Premier. And Batterton was starting to go into her wind and maybe wanted a new set of calls for the pitches or forgotten what she was going to throw. The 1-0 fouled off to the right.
Another thing to look at is her setup when she pitches. I know this was changed recently in college. Previously, both feet had to be on the pitching rubber to start your pitch, but now the back foot is actually allowed to be off. So you see how it gives you a little bit wider of a stance.
A little bit more leverage, I guess.
Yes, which actually in turn gives you a little bit more power, especially for the taller girls because they do have so much length that just giving themselves a little bit of back rock or backwards movement to get into that forward movement is a huge difference. Something that we didn't really get to see that much in 2020 in the college season because it was cut so short, but going to try to match that up to see what was the difference in speed for some of the pitchers.
The 1-2 called strike 3 on the inner half. And Batterton picks up another K, her 5th of the morning. So 2 down, Niana P coming up. Walked her last time, got all the way to second, but was stranded. Yeah, I can definitely see, especially when you're a tall pitcher like Batterton is, how that would come in handy because before long you run out of space if you're starting just from the rubber.
Yeah, and it definitely helps your balance a lot more as well because you actually can spread your feet out. The more narrow you are, the harder it is to balance and kind of push. But now you have a solid base to push off of. Just gives them a lot more power, a lot more drive out, and I would think a lot more control because you're able to not worry about the balance so much because you are able to scoot your foot back. You can focus more on where you're actually placing that ball.
Soft line drive right over the head of the third baseman, Skaggs. And will trickle out into left field, so a 2-out single for Miana P. Not hit hard, but hit right where she needed it to go. And that brings up the leadoff hitter, Maverick L.
And the 9-hole, but getting it done.
Yeah.
Miana P has been on both times today. Walk and a single.
Maverick is struck out and also popped up back behind home plate. That open stance from the right side. First pitch swinging, and it's a soft liner hit into foul territory, but that was the 3rd out. As you had the third baseman chunking it over to first, but Skaggs had the 3rd out right there on the soft line drive. So nothing doing following a 2-out single from Gold, and we head to the top of the 6th. Premier with a 1-0 lead. You are listening to HFL Softball.
You know what we should do? We should close the windows.
In the heart of America, teams come to compete. Nothing is given. All is paid by battling on the diamond.
This ball driven deep to right center field. See you later.
Don't miss your opportunity to play against other leagues across the country. Be the heart of softball.
Gonna win more.
Heading to the top of the 6th. 1-0 our score. Game Time Premier 18U leads OK Bomber Gold. Again, the winner of this one goes on to take on OK Athletics Premier in the next ball game. Emma J in for her second inning of work for Gold. Will face the top of the order. Haley Kazel followed by Tatum Bradshaw and Clara Skaggs due up. And this is the side of the lineup that's really been getting it done. Kazel 1 for 2, and then Bradshaw, who's on deck, has scored the lone run of the ball game.
Yeah, the top 4 for this Game Time lineup are all 1 for 2. So really doing their job. I like when you see a lot of production at the top of the lineup.
And what we've seen from Kazel so far is some long, lengthy at-bats. She shows bunt, pulls it back, and takes the offering outside. Second pitch, there's a slow roller hit to first, and going to be an easy play for the first baseman, Kendall H. She'll just lay down the tag for out number 1. Kendall rocking the long sleeves.
Smart. Very smart. But I was going to say that's a smart play as a first baseman, because oftentimes it's really tough to field for a slapper, because if they hit it anywhere away from the line, it almost becomes a foot race to first base, which I wouldn't put my money on myself, you know.
Not going to win that a lot.
Right. So to field it close to the line and decide to tag instead of running back to the base is a big brain move.
Bradshaw takes this offering down. It's now 1 ball and no strikes. Had that ringing double her last time up. Came around to score in the 4th. Second offering way out front, rolls it foul. We'll be hanging out with you for 3 games today. All 3 here at beautiful Davis Diamond. At least Tori and I will. The broadcast of the games will continue, but our wonderful commentary will be for 3. Off speed, had her out in front. Boy, what a nice pitch that was. Pulled the string, 1 and 2. And you're talking about your parents bringing in the coffee and everything. You're also talking they brought snacks. They brought all kinds of stuff when y'all were traveling.
They did. They had the science of travel ball down, because my brother also played, and so baseball, softball, we were always ready. We were strapped no matter where we were going.
We were strapped with PB&Js.
Yeah, PB&J and fruit and all kinds of stuff.
Sling it home, misses inside. Now count goes full.
My favorite thing that they ever brought was a heater.
Oh, yeah.
Because in between games, we would go out there and just sit in front of the heater and warm up our hands, warm up our bats. Try to get something going.
No, I think they would definitely be the popular people here today. Full count to Bradshaw. Wave and a miss. Again, that off speed just had her way out in front and picking up a big out number 2.
Yeah, having that changeup is huge, especially coming in late in the game when they've gotten so used to one pitcher, and then Emma J coming in and kind of spinning it for them. Makes it a little tougher to stay on time, stay a little bit balanced, stay stacked, right? All these different things as a hitter that you need to be successful. It really throws it off on a changeup when you're not expecting it.
Clara Skaggs, left-handed hitting third baseman. First pitch misses down and away to her. And Premier, ever since scoring that run, combined, has gone 0 for 7. Up and in. 2 balls and no strikes. Sun is out overhead, not really a cloud in sight. It's really a beautiful morning.
Minus the wind.
Minus the wind. If the wind wasn't blowing, I think it would be just about perfect. The 2-0 catches the outer black, brings the count to 2-1. Got some folks running in down past the right field line, out beyond the ballpark. Got another team getting ready to come play. There's a hard hit ground ball past the second baseman, Maverick L, and into right center. So a 2-out single from Clara Skaggs. She's now 2 for 3.
She said 0 for 7. I'll show you.
Yeah. You talking about we've been 0 for 7 our last 7 bats.
She got barrel on that one, unlike her first at bat when she kind of fisted a ball over the pitcher's head right in front of the shortstop. Bet you that felt a lot better on her hands.
Presley Main had that rocket past the third baseman her last time for the RBI single, and she takes the first pitch for a called strike. Yeah, we have seen some knuckle busters early on here on a cold morning, so that's never want to see that, but you just feel that pain. You've been there. You've done that.
I've been there.
You know how that
I just
feels.
think about it, my hands start to hurt.
You start kind of just starting to stretch the fingers out a little bit. The 1-1 misses low. 2 balls and a strike.
And that's the worst, too, for bats, because when it's cold, they're more likely to break.
Right.
Almost get hit by a bat, you know, on defense. It can be a struggle.
You don't need that in your life. 2-1. In on the hands, popped it up, but foul off to the left. And going to hit the railing up in the seats and bounce away.
Yeah, you don't see anybody trying to make a play today.
No, nobody's trying to get a free snow cone today. Even though I don't think you can. 1, I don't think you get a free snow cone. And 2, why would you want one? It's a little too chilly for that, I think.
If I was dressed appropriately, I would definitely eat a snow cone right now.
Are you one of those people that likes cold stuff on cold days? Yeah.
I love cold stuff no matter what.
2-2, just right past the second baseman, almost identical base hits here, back to back. Maine kind of stuck the bat out there and got enough on it to get it past the second baseman. So runners at first and second for Morgan Max.
Yeah, you love seeing base hits up the middle. That tells you that the hitters are on time and their swings are true. Not really pulling off or letting it get too deep, too late, busting it on your hands or anything like that. So I love that the hitters are finally getting on time, but if I'm Emma J here, I'm going to come back with the changeup and try to really get them off balance.
Max is 0 for 2. Popped up back behind the catcher and is also flied out to center. And the first offering to the lefty is down and away. So Premier making some more noise here, all with 2 outs. Clara Skaggs a single up the middle, and then Presley Main another single up the middle. And this one going back up the middle, but through the glove of Maverick L, goes into center field. A strong throw will keep the runner at third, but they're now loaded for Katie Scott. And I think that's a play that Maverick L would like back. She came close to making that one right behind the second base bag.
Yeah, huge shift on right there. Maverick 2 steps away from second base, back in the grass.
Now we're going to get a circle visit from the coach, have a talk with his hurler. And it's not as if Emma J's given up some real hard hit balls. I mean, those previous 2 singles were hit decently. That one just made its way past the second baseman. Talk things over, say, yeah, it's cold out here, guys. I'm wearing shorts today.
A lot of times my coaches would just come up and not say anything related to the game. Just to kind of take your mind off of it.
Yeah, break it up a little bit.
But I'm sure he's asking, hey, like, where are those pitches at? Are you hitting your spots? What do you feel comfortable with throwing? Probably, hopefully, how does your changeup feel?
Bases are juiced for Katie Scott. 1 for 2 today, a single back in the second, grounded out to short her last time up. And the first offering to her catches the inner black. It's 0-1. Open stance on the right side, up at the front of the box. Shows bunt, pushes it up the first base line. Fielded by the pitcher, on to first for out number 3. A little squeeze there, but Emma J able to field her position well. 1-3 will be the third out, and Premier leaves them stranded. We head to the bottom of the 6th. Game time still with a 1-0 lead. You're listening to HFL Softball. First offering here swung on and fouled back. Maverick L with a 1-0 count. Channing L waiting on deck, followed by Talon B for gold. This one swung on and fouled back and hits atop the booth right next to us, the radio booth.
Gets closer and closer every
I
time.
saw some dust come off right there. Little bit of dust.
I would expect nothing less. It's been a while.
Evens the count at 1-1. And this pitch misses wide. 2 balls and a strike. Taryn battered it on for her 6th inning of work here. Been awfully, awfully good. Giving up only 3 base hits. Swung on, chopped foul on the third base line. Evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Did you guys ever use those hand warmers?
Oh,
when you were playing?
all the time.
Oh, man.
We had some secret spots that
Yeah.
would warm them up real quick.
2-2. And fouled straight back. Yeah, those come in handy. Ball games, hunting, what have you. Anytime you got to be out in the elements, it's real nice to have.
And they stay warm for so long.
Yes,
Ugh,
they do. I don't
they're
know
amazing.
how does that even work? Is it just
science?
the
I don't know.
The enzymes. I have no idea. The 2-2, wave and a miss. Pulled the string and had her out in front. Nice change up there.
Little off-speed action.
And
I
that-
like it though because she has an off-speed curve
Right.
and a regular curve, so it throws the hitters off with the same spin, the same break. You start to swing, and then you realize the ball's not even close to home plate yet, and it is just kind of up. You got to finish your swing.
One's a little faster than the other. This
Exactly.
one popped up right behind the left-handed batter's box, and making the catch is Fisher, the catcher, for out number 2.
She's had quite a bit of action back there today.
Yeah, she has.
Been making every single play.
I think that's her second catch that she's made back there. And then on the other side, Caden B has also got one. She's in the hole right now, or on deck. Talon B up and takes the offering away. The 1-0 offering, wave and a miss.
Here's some advice from the dugout.
Yeah, and with so few people here right now, it's kind of easy to do that.
You hear everything.
Everything. 1 ball and 1 strike. Boy, high strike call there. 1 ball and 2 strikes now.
My favorite is when your teammates are yelling very obvious things from the dugout.
You're supposed to hit it.
Yeah, thank you for letting
you.
me know.
Appreciate
Yep,
that.
trying to do that
Thanks
right
for
now.
the heads up, homie. Much appreciated.
Then you get to the dugout and you do the exact same thing. So
Just did miss outside. Premier fans wanting that call, didn't get it. Evens the count at 2-2. Matterton checking that wrist, looking for the call. What pitch he wants to throw. This pitch misses up. 3-2. Did you pretty much have that all during your playing time as well, where you would have the wrist plays and different calls and stuff?
the pitcher and catcher had it, but none of the infielders had it.
Misses high and wide, ball 4, and Caden B will get to trot down to first base. AJR coming up.
And that's been a huge topic in the softball world too, is now that I'm past college and into my pro career and just talking with a lot of the girls, a lot of them being a couple years older than me grew up calling their own pitches, calling their own game, and it kind of started transitioning into coaches calling the entire game for a pitcher-catcher duo. So you don't really learn as much or see the repercussions of what you're calling now as much as you did back in the day when you were actually having to make those decisions yourself. And that's truly how pitchers and catchers develop together, and that bond was so much stronger because you're on the same page. And that's something that I see so much more now as a pro.
Hard hit ground ball over to third base, but just called foul. That was a fantastic play down there at the hot corner by Skaggs, but ball just did manage to go foul, so an 0-2 count to AJR.
Yeah, great job finishing that play, because you really never know what the umpire is going to call, or if they have a late call. You want to make sure you always finish through that play, just in case.
Play to the final whistle, or the final call, like you said. 0-2 the count, Asia S waiting on deck. Bottom of the sixth, Gold looking to get something going here. Swung on, a high fly ball, shallow right center. Wynn playing some havoc with it, still bringing it in, but on the run as Kazel makes the catch for out number 3. So Bomber Gold, they get a runner on, but Lever stranded at first. We head to the top of the 7th, Premier with a 1-0 lead. You're listening to HFL Softball.
In the heart of America, teams come to compete. Nothing is given, all is paid by battling on the diamond.
This ball driven deep to right center field. See you later.
Don't miss your opportunity to play against other leagues across the country. Be the heart of softball.
Gonna win more.
Zach Taylor alongside Tori Vidalis with you. First game of the day here at Davis Diamond in College Station, Texas. On the Texas A&M University campus, Gametime Premier 18U currently with a 1-0 lead over OK Bomber Gold, already to the top of the 7th here. And Premier looking to add on to this slimmest of margins. Emily Labeth going to lead things off, followed by Kennedy Fisher and Casey Polson. Emma J now on for her 3rd inning of relief. And the right-hander slings it home, misses wide. 1 ball and no strikes. And slow roller up the third base line will roll foul. Evens the count at 1-1. Premier was able to load the bases last inning, but left everybody stranded. And a little excuse me swing goes around. Didn't want to, but did. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, and I think now is the perfect time, especially if you really want to get some insurance for yourself going into the 7th, knowing that the Bombers have the last laugh in the box. You want to ensure a win.
Wave and a miss. Out number 1 as Emily Labeth goes down on K's. Kennedy Fisher coming up. Yeah, 1 run on 8 base hits for Premier.
Yeah, they've done a great job at just peppering the ball in, but really haven't had that breakthrough hit that just kind of opens the gate to the scoring.
Also stranded 5 today.
Yeah, and honestly, it really does take 1 normally. Like in the 4th inning when they scored, you had that base hit, and normally that kind of catapults things to start kind of falling into place in your way, but they haven't really had any extra base hits, just singles. It's really hard to score when you get back-to-back-to-back singles. You really need that extra base hit, and then throw a single in there. It's a little easier to get around home plate.
Well, and give a lot of credit, too, to Olivia M. and Emma J., 2 hurlers for the Gold, as this one swung on, line drive. It's going to fall down for a base hit. Big turnaround first and steaming into second base, well ahead of the throw, will be Fisher. So a 1-out double. We're just talking about how they've been limited to singles here recently as Premier, but Fisher able to rocket a double into right center.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you need, especially in the 7th. You want to try to get something going. The best and easiest way, in my opinion, is just to start off with an extra base hit. That always helps you.
Yeah.
But just a little bit of miscommunication out there in the outfield was allowed Kennedy Fisher to get to second base.
Next up, Polson slaps this one up the third base line and just out of the reach in foul territory from Bailey Kay. Gave a good go at it, but unable to make the catch. 0-1. That would have been a big out if Gold was able to snag it in foul territory. Polson, a slapper up there from the left side. And the 0-1 down in the dirt. Good block made by Caden B. None of these teams with big rosters. That's kind of what jumps out at you first off. You've got a lot of players out there that are playing. Pitch misses up high, 2-1.
And it's weird because you play more games, I think, as a select or travel team.
Oh, absolutely.
But when you're in high school, your arm can afford to throw a lot more pitches, and you don't have as much information on all these teams like you do in college. So most times you see pitchers throwing 3-4 games a day, just depending on how many games there are, how many pitchers there are. So it's truly amazing to me now when I look back thinking, wow, I played 6 or 7 games in a day, and that was normal.
Yeah, absolutely. The 3-1, a high strike call, and some moans and groans from the Premier fans.
They did not like that one.
Down the third base line. Yeah, they're not too big of fans of that call. Now the count goes full to Polson. Payoff pitch from M&J. Misses down and away. So ball 4. And Polson able to work a walk anyways. So runners at first and second now. 1 away for Haley Kazel.
It's a great AB for Polson right there. It's important for her to know that her job is not to get that run in. As a slapper, your goal is not to hit RBIs or to get RBIs. Your goal is to get on base and let the people behind you do that. Obviously, it's a little bit harder with Kazel, who's also a slapper, but really your goal is to just poke it through. You're just trying to find the grass or find an opening to give Fisher a chance to get home, but you're not the one that's trying to rip a ball into left center and score them. You got to stick to your role and know the type of hitter you are.
First pitch, Kazel slaps this one foul on the left field line. She's 1 for 3 today, 3 unassisted. Grounded into last time up. Swung on, ground ball up the middle for a base hit. Rounding third, a big turn was Fisher. The throw sails over the catcher, and now you've got 2 runners at third base. So they're going to call the runner behind as Fisher had come back to third base, and it looked like Polson steamrolled into third. So not for sure exactly how that would work out, as I would think that the base goes to the runner occupying the base, does it not?
The base goes to the lead runner.
To the lead runner?
Yeah, just a little bit of a mental error there by Polson. Obviously, when you're fast, I think you kind of disregard the stop signs just a few times, but the third base coach was waving Fisher through to kind of draw that throw, and as you saw, the center fielder overthrew home plate and overthrew the catcher. So what happens if there's 2 people on the base, you tag both of them, it should be the trail runner that is out.
Well, now the coach is having a talk with the third base umpire, trying to sort that out.
But what happened, I think what he may be asking about is when Bailey Kay, the third baseman, went to tag, Fisher stepped off the base while she tagged the other girl. So I'm wondering if he's maybe thinking she tagged both of them and they're both out. But I think he's going to ultimately decide that they were both on the base when she tagged them, and the base will be awarded to Fisher.
So it ends up being an out nonetheless. An 8-2 to 5 gets Polson out, and now there's 2 down. Runners at the corners for Tatum Bradshaw. So an eventful play going on, but we've got it all sorted out.
I would have loved to see Kazel sneak in on that backside runner, get to second, especially with so much commotion going on at third, they're not paying attention to you. So that's
Right.
the perfect time to just sneak in there or even draw the tension away from that play. So just needing a little bit more heads up there to get in scoring position. You need all the runs you can get at this point.
1-0 the count to Bradshaw on a wave and a miss over the top. Evens us at 1-1. Again, Premier with a 1-0 lead, looking to add on to it here in the top of the 7th. They've got 2 outs against them with runners on the corners. The 1-1. Off speed, showed bunt, pulled it back. Now the runner running from first to second gets caught up. And coming in from third to score is Fisher. And now a bad throw was AJR had come in too far from the bag. Nobody was backing her up at second base. And Kazel is able to sneak by her safely into second. So a busted play there for Gold, and the second run scores for Premier.
Yeah, that's a picture-perfect play for game time. The ultimate goal of that play is just to get the runner from third home. So you see the ball go all the way down to second, and Kazel does a great job of stopping and getting in a run down, which as long as that run crosses the plate before the runner is tagged out, then it counts, and that's what you need for your insurance. And Kazel does a great job, and then ultimately getting back to second by a miscommunication, no one covering the bag at second, and then an errant throw.
Now a 3-1 count to Bradshaw. And just did catch the bottom half of the zone, brings the count full. And Zach Taylor, Tori Vidalis hanging out with you here at Davis Diamond, home of Texas A&M softball. The payoff pitch misses away, ball 4. So Bradshaw will take her base down at first. And Clara Skaggs coming up. Had a single her last time. She's 2 for 3 on the day. That wind continuing to whip in from center field has warmed up a tad, but not much. First offering from Emma J catches the outer black. For Gold, it will be Asia S, Kendall H, and Bailey K. 6, 7, and 8 in the order due up in the bottom of the 7th. Swung on. This one is rocketed, but fouled on the left field line. It continued to slice out of play. Hit hard, but not between the white lines. And again, foul. This one a little bit more off to the left. A little bit more demonstrative foul ball. I was looking at these. I was trying to figure out. Oh, that's where those go. Those cover up the holes where the wires go through. Got these little rubber, almost look like cold holsters, cup holsters. This one rolled foul up the first base line now, so tried the left side, now worked the right side. Count remains 0-2. Center fielder shaded over to the left with the left-hander up there, expecting maybe her to go the other way. This pitch misses high and wide. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And even with that wind whipping around, the outfielder's still playing pretty deep. You got Asia S out there playing pretty deep at center.
Yeah, Skaggs with a lot of power. You've seen it with her foul ball. She's able to get the ball out there pretty easily, so I don't think they want to take any chances, especially right now. So late in the game, you're playing at a no doubles depth. So anything in the outfield, you're not allowing her to get to second.
And she'll slap this one foul off to the left. A long, lengthy at bat here for Clara Skaggs. Presley Main waiting on deck. The 1-2. And again, spoiled foul off to the left. Swung on, line drive past the shortstop into left. Runner grounding third, headed for home. And going to be no throw after a misplay out there in left center. And an RBI single from Clara Skaggs. It's now 3-0 Premier.
You love to see a 2-out RBI. Those are the most important, especially at the top of the second, and the Bombers have the last laugh in the box. You want to get as many insurance runs as you can.
Don't forget, save for a base running gaff from Premier, they would only have one run or one out right now, I should say. But instead, got 2 away. Maine takes the first offering away. Emma slings it home, called strike on the inner half. 1 ball and 1 strike. The 1-1, this one misses in. Brings the ball to 2 balls, or brings the count, excuse me, to 2 balls and 1 strike. Morgan Max, number 5 hitter in the lineup for Premier, is on deck. And down and in, 3-1. Premier doing all this damage with 2 outs. Now scored a couple of runs in the inning. There's a called strike.
It's the most heartbreaking as a defense. All we need is 1 more out,
and
they just keep hitting it everywhere where you aren't.
Yeah, balls haven't been hit incredibly hard or anything, just hitting them where they ain't. This one swung on a soft line drive, and on her tippy toes, Bailey Kay making the catch at third base for the final out. But Premier does add to their lead. They get 2 more runs. We head to the bottom of the 7th, and Gold looking to put together a rally here. They're down 3-0. You're listening to HFL Softball. Bottom of the 7th we go. Asia S., Kendall H., and Bailey K. due up for Gold, and kind of a last chance for OK Bomber Gold. And third base coach having a talk with the third base umpire. Not sure what they're discussing down there. They're laughing about something. Asia S. Leading things off, hoping to get a rally going. Shows bunt, pulls it back, misses down and away. Taryn Batterton, you know, she's been in the dugout for a while now. Has really been on a roll, but with her offense up there at the plate, yeah, you love the run support, but on a cold day like this, kind of hate to stop the mojo, right?
Yeah, you hate to kind of break up anything good you have going, but I did see that she had a hoodie on to kind of keep her arm warm and give her a little bit of help with all this wind.
Pitch catch the outside corner, evens the count at 1-1. Bring it home again. This one fouled off to the screen, 1-2.
I think if anything, if I was a pitcher, I would be more pumped for the 7th inning because I want to win. Like,
yeah.
I want to close out the game. Like, let's do it.
Just got a bigger lead. Your team put up some more runs. Kendall H. waiting on deck. Offering misses high. Didn't get her to chase. 2-2. Infield playing in at the corners. The 2-2 offering just did miss outside and now gone full. motoring right along really through the first 6 innings, but things have slowed up quite a bit. Last half inning plus. The payoff pitch, swung on, fouled back to the screen.
Can feel the energy shift a little bit in the Bombers dugout. Really loud, really cheering. You always see when teams are down, they really want to rally at the end, but really it's throughout the entire game that you need that energy, you need that momentum. But it's better late than never.
Maybe it took them a little while to wake up at 10:45. Swung on, line drive, base hit. Low line drive, and Asia S gets things started off with a single.
Hitting is contagious. We'll see if they can tack on some runs.
That really was a good piece of hitting right there. Just went with the pitch and drove it right back up the middle. Kendall H is 0 for 2, looking to get off the schneid. First pitch swinging, pops her up. Foul territory up the first base line and off the glove of the first baseman. As ranging over was trying to make that catch was Polson, and it just went right off the end of her mitt.
That is a crucial out right there for game time. You need to make that catch. That could be the difference in winning and losing this game at the end of the day. Just if you give them another chance, you never know what they can do.
Count goes to 0-1, bring it home again, swung on, fouled straight back. So now if you're Barrington, you hope that does not come back to get you.
Yeah, and especially plays like that. Yes, it's a little bit close to the railing of the first base dugout, but you have to sprint over there and get there, and you have to know exactly where the ball is going instead of kind of wavering and being scared that you're going to run into the railing.
The 0-2, this one smacked high in the right field into foul territory. Crossing over the line as Lambeth makes the catch for out number 1. Seen a lot of balls being caught in foul territory today. It's not like there's just a whole heck of a lot of it here. I mean, it's what you would normally see at a ballpark.
What, the space?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
I think there's way more foul.
Think there's more?
Yeah, way more foul territory here. Long way to run. The warning track is huge. And there's a good slice of grass. It's a long way to run, especially corners. It was a big adjustment from Old Aggie Field to here.
Right.
With the extra space.
Well, that kind of tapered off, did it not, as it worked its way to the foul poles?
It did.
It kind of like came in. 1-0 the count. Make it 2-0 now. Second offering misses down and in. It's been a hot minute, Tori. I haven't been over to the Old Aggie softball complex in quite some time. As you said, you spent, 200-plus games there?
Oh, I'm sure. 4 7/8 or 3 7/8 of my college career there.
This pitch called strike on the inner half. So did it kind of throw you off when you guys first started playing here with it being, obviously the field's a little bit bigger, but I mean the stadium and the concourse, everything else? Swing and a miss as there's a throw down to second base, just not in time. And it's a stolen bag for Asia S, and Gold stays alive, but with 2 down.
I think for me, our saving grace was being able to come over here and practice a lot, which these teams here playing today don't have that luxury of doing. So it takes a little bit to get used to the dimensions. But when you practice here every day, it's a little easier to kind of transition from that field to this field.
Makes sense.
And even when you're talking about when they're playing at Veterans or Bee Creek or Central Park, those fields aren't as near as big as this one. And just the setting that you're in and the extra space for the foul territory, it's a lot of changes to come to this field after playing at those.
Yana P taking the offering for a called strike. Evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Runner in scoring position, and Gold has yet to cross the plate today. Down 3-0 in the bottom of the 7th with 2 down. Swung on, ground ball off the glove of the third baseman, and it caroms past the shortstop. Rounding third, headed for home, and able to score standing up is Asia S, and an RBI single for Rihanna P. And Gold is staying alive.
I was waiting for it. Does a great job. I mean, just making things happen. You never know. That was a unfortunate mishap for Skaggs over there at third base. Just tips off of her glove and gets away from the shortstop as well. But a perfect opportunity for Gold to get a run on the board.
Yeah, really, Premier's played fantastic defense. That one a hot shot past the shortstop for a base knock. So suddenly Gold really starting to time Taryn Batterton well. And runners at first and second now, and we're going to get a circle visit.
And hitting is contagious, you know what they say. So all
you
you
said
need,
that.
yeah.
You said that at the very beginning.
I've heard
we were
it
talking
my
about
whole
that.
life. You know, you always hear it. Hitting is contagious. I don't know why. It has to be psychological, but it's just something about someone else doing it in front of you, and it just kind of opens the jar of hitting. And that's exactly what Gold is doing here.
You say it is a possibility. You know, we can hit this pitcher. We can get on base. We can do these things, and then you go out there and do it. But
Walk the
suddenly,
walk.
suddenly Premier finding itself in a sticky situation after Taryn Batterton had been cruising through 6+. Now surrendered a run, and runners at first and second for the meat of the order. Janik L coming up. She is 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. But I guess you could say she's due. Skaggs playing in at the third base side. And the first pitch just does catch the outer black. 0-1. Talon B is on deck. Should Chanig reach? The 0-1. Swing and a miss. Got her to chase up and in.
And as a hitter here in this situation, you have to try to tell yourself not to be so anxious, right? Everybody's doing it, getting it done in front of you. You don't want to be the one to mess it up. And so I think that gets into a lot of people's head. You just kind of got to go with the flow in this situation. You've seen her 3 times now.
Slow roller hit to short, fielded and thrown on to first for the force out. And that will do it. A 6-5 for out number 3. So Gold did not go away quietly, but Premier able to pull out the win 3-1, and they advance to take on OK Athletics Premier. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, have a short wrap-up, and then we'll get ready for game number 2. Again, you're listening to HFL Softball.
In the heart of America, teams come to compete. Nothing is given. All is paid by battling on the diamond.
This ball driven deep to right center field. See you later.
Don't miss your opportunity to play against other leagues across the country. Be the heart of softball.
Gonna win more.
The snap of a ball, the crack of a bat. This is where the best come to play. Don't miss your opportunity to be at the destination for high-level softball clubs. The Team 1 Elite Club Invite is coming to Kansas City.
Gametime Premier 18U picks up the win in the first game of the day here at Davis Diamond. They defeat OK Bomber Gold 3-1. Zach Taylor alongside Tori Vidalis, and Tori saw a lot of good things. Taryn Batterton went the distance for Premier, went 7 strong, gave up 1 run on 5 base hits, 6 strikeouts on the day, and only 1 walk, and that really pops up for you, as well as some timely hitting from Premier too.
Yeah, when I think about this game, I really have to give Taryn Batterton a pat on the back. I mean, she really did carry the team, especially early when they really weren't putting that many runs up on the board. She was able to stay solid in the circle, and then eventually the hitters did come in pretty solid. They were getting runners on throughout the game, but really struggling with getting runners across the plate, having that timely hit. But in the 4th inning, we finally saw a very timely hit, and then they were able to get it going again in the 7th inning when they really needed that insurance run. So just overall, a really solid game from Gametime.
Yeah, offensively for Premier, they had some folks that really showed up today. I think Clara Skaggs for one, 3 for 4, and had an RBI. That was huge. And Tatum Bradshaw, don't forget, got the scoring going back in the 4th with a stand-up double. She also was able to get on base with a walk. So really take your pick. Picked up 3 runs. All 3 were earned on 11 base hits for Premier, but they advanced to take on OK Athletics Premier, and we will have that ball game here in just a little bit. Got to drag the field, get everything ready, but Game 2 will be coming up in just a little while. Again, you're listening to HFL Softball.